have the public now part of the meeting, please? It looks to me like we do. Okay, can we go ahead with the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United
States of America
and to the republic
for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and
justice for all. Could we have a roll call, please?
Go ahead.
Thank you. Chair Van der Graaf.
Present.
Vice Chair Williams.
Here.
Maggie Bird.
Here.
Matthew Johnston.
Here.
James Flickinger will be marked absent. Gerald Abramson.
Here.
You do have a quorum, and for the record, Robert Trimborn, Nanette Metz, Steve Weiss, and Steve Tannehill have all been excused from tonight's meeting, but you do have a quorum.
Thank you. Okay. We have the public observing the meeting via the airport YouTube channel, and we have public comment for email with submitting the comment limited to 250 words or less via email by 6:30 p.m. on Monday the 3rd. Please indicate the subject line, the agenda item number, i.e. number 5. When the commission reaches your item of interest, airport staff will read your comment during the public comments. Through Zoom, you may also provide verbal comments during the meeting. See the last page for detailed instructions. Okay, so we have the agenda review. Is there a motion to approve the minutes of September 12th?
I so move.
Is there a second?
I second it. Bobby Williams.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Thank you. Let's go to the public comment period. Comments will be limited to a maximum of 3 minutes per item. The public comment period is reserved for issues that are not on the agenda. So if you wish to make a public comment on the agenda item 5, please press the raise hand button, or if you're calling in, press star then 9 to be added to the speaker queue when prompted by the chair or the commission. Are there any public comments, either written or verbal?
Chair Van der Graaf, we have one written public comment, and at this moment we have one raised hand from Ms. Rita Weingarten. Which would you like to hear first?
Okay, that'll be fine. Go ahead, please.
Okay. Start with the written comment. It is from Joe Goslin. It reads, "My name is Joe Goslin. At the last meeting, a member of the public tried to claim that a new lead study done this year around the Reed Hillview Airport in Santa Clara, California, put to rest any concerns about lead levels in the children that live and attend schools near the airport. This was completely misleading and does not at all reflect the issue or concern at the Oxnard Airport. That study tested the soil, not the lead in the atmosphere, which was deemed to be causing the elevated lead in the blood levels. In fact, the article that brought this study to light has a quote from Catherine Hammond, an exposure expert and professor at UC Berkeley, who said, quote, "The soil sample results don't contradict the airborne study's conclusion," unquote. The EPA estimates that emissions from these piston engine aircraft using leaded fuel account for about 70% of lead released into the atmosphere. These children are not getting the lead exposure from the soil, but rather from the air. So the lead issue is just as concerning as it has ever been. We all know there is new unleaded fuel available for use, and some airports are adopting it. There is no reason for Oxnard Airport to allow these lead-fueled planes to use our airport for touch and goes. I would ask that the authority recommend an immediate ban of any piston engine plane using leaded fuel from touch and go training at Oxnard Airport. End of comment from Joe Gosling.
Thank you. Verbal comments?
Chair, yes, we have Rita Weingarten had her hand in the air, and then we also have get the right screen up. We had Joni Conterno. So I believe Joni's ready. And let me get my timer thing up.
Okay, let's make that 3 minutes.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Great. So there's a guarded sense of optimism with the launch of the VC Fly Friendly program. Good first steps with many more to go before the community surrounding the airport will be safe and without negative impact. The Fly Friendly program kicked off on September 13th. The days leading up to this forum were filled with some of the most intense and frequent touch and go violations. It was like a war zone. But on September 13th, there was a shift. Before the start of the forum, there was a spectacle in the skies. At 11 a.m., there were 4 planes doing touch and go simultaneously in the extended right turn pattern, something we had never seen before. We kept hearing at these meetings how impossible it was for pilots to safely make right turns. These multiple planes turning right over open space rather than left over occupied areas were finally demonstrating the ability to fly with regards to surrounding communities. The right turn pattern was not nearly as invasive as when they turned left. Ever since September 13th, the skies around Oxnard have miraculously demonstrated right turn touch and goes. I don't know how everyone learned how to turn right so quickly, but those of us living around the airport noticed the difference. Of course, the extended left turn pattern, as indicated on the current map, continues to be a problem, with pilots flying in violation. They do not fly straight out of the airport. They veer into occupied areas and turn at whatever arbitrary distance they choose. They do not fly well beyond the shores, nor does the tower recommend that. The extended left turn pattern also has many pilots flying well south of Woolley on their return. The extended left pattern is a problem. Even pilots turning left before Edison Canal create noise that is above acceptable levels. Now that we know that pilots in Oxnard have the ability to turn right, it could be the path to flying friendly. The increased right turn traffic we are currently experiencing has been an improvement, but there is a trend that needs to be addressed. At the completion of their right turn touch and goes, pilots are not following the departure pattern. They are turning left directly over Oxnard shores on their way home. As the map indicates, they need to follow the proper departure pattern. We understand that the VC Fly Friendly program is a work in progress. We, the community, will continue to do our part in keeping track and reporting to you in hopes of reaching our common goal of a truly fly-friendly Ventura County. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next comments?
That would be from Rita Weingarten. And when she starts, we'll have 3 minutes. Rita, are you on?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
Yes,
got
we can, Rita. Thank you.
Okay. Hi, my name is Rita Weingarten. And before I start, I do want to say that I really appreciate the efforts of Keith Freitas and Jeanette. So please know that that is very much appreciated, all your efforts and hard work. Before purchasing my home in Oxnard Shores in April of 2020, I did, of course, due diligence. I checked the crime rate and zip code 93035, pretty much all petty crimes. I visited the area numerous times in the mornings, afternoons, evenings, and even at nighttime. And what I found was a very quiet neighborhood. I checked the ordinance and city codes, including that of Oxnard Airport and the short-term rentals. I checked the airport site. A flight pattern map was on the site, clearly showing flight paths and avoid flyover areas. Oxnard Shores and surrounding communities were shown as an avoid flyover area. I even drove to the airport and saw signage showing the avoid flyover areas as well. After I checked all that was important to me, a safe and quiet neighborhood, I made the plunge and I purchased a home in Oxnard Shores. Residents have and are still investing millions of dollars purchasing homes here, only to be misled. In several meetings, Mr. Freitas has repeatedly said the airport has been misleading and has miscommunicated to the residents. It's not the pilot's fault. At some point in mid-2021, a airport staff member removed the flight path, the flight map, and it's been living hell ever since. Supervisor Long and others have said, well, you knew you were moving near an airport, as if to say, live with it. Primarily, flight schools use older single-piston planes that are incredibly loud. We recorded decibel readings up to 94 decibels by these planes. Most days, the decibel readings range from 80 to 90 decibels. This is completely unacceptable, and we will no longer tolerate living like this. Primarily, City of Oxnard has their own noise ordinance, 2292. State of California Health and Safety has a noise code, code number 46000. And even the FAA has noise regulations, all read no more than 65 decibels in populated areas. These codes and ordinances are enforced by law. Here is a map of all the flyover areas. This is the cruise I signed up for, not hours and hours of constant decibel readings over 65 decibels. Definition of avoid means stop. Please stop flying over our homes low and loud. It's too loud and not safe flying so low over highly populated areas. We've had 3 recent plane crashes. The homeowners have repeatedly communicated the issues at hand to all of our elected officials. At this point, we consider this negligence. End of comment. Thank you.
Thank you, Rita. We appreciate your comment. Are there any other comments?
Chair, yes, we have Dave Timms who's joined, would like to make a comment.
Thank you. Hi, Dave.
Hey, Dave.
Well, good evening. Dave Timms here. I'm resident of Simi Valley, California. I fly out of Camarillo, and occasionally I land at Oxnard Airport. I'd like to respond to Joe Goslin's comment about lead. He was saying that the lead is measured as the ground lead, and up until about 25 years ago, you had high density cars driving all through the area. I would guess that if that's the same dirt that was there 25 years ago that they were testing. So if there's any lead in the ground, I would guess it'd probably be from the automotive lead that was deposited many years ago. Also, as far as lead in the air, I don't think that Joe has any studies that really shows that there's been lead poisoning as a result of aircrafts flying overhead. So unless I can see some evidence of a study of lead in the air over Oxnard causing problems with the children, I would really doubt that. That's just my comments.
Thank you, Dave. Are there other comments, please?
Chair, this is Director Freitas. I would like to take the opportunity to give a segue to our new communications and engagement manager, Jeanette Haragi.
Excellent. Please.
I think she is soon to be promoted in 1 second online.
You all hear me and see me?
We can, Jeanette. Welcome.
Well, it's nice to meet you all virtually. I'm excited to be here. I'm coming up on almost a month of being with the Department of Airports. I've been in the field of communications at a variety of capacities for over 20 years now. And I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to help bridge the gap between the community, the pilots, and just getting better communication out there. As was mentioned, and as Keith has mentioned, there's been a lack of effective communication, and we're in forward motion to fix that and to address those issues. And I'm excited to be part of this team.
Thank you, Jeanette. Welcome.
Thank you.
Are any comments from any of the commission members? Okay. Then let's go on to new business. This is considering adoption of resolution 15, authorizing remote teleconference meetings of the Aviation Advisory Commission pursuant to government section 54953, subdivision E of the Ralph M. Brown Act. Mr. Director, or who will be discussing this?
I will. This is just another option for this committee. You want to put this in place for the next meeting, so that you have that option if you so decide to continue with the remote meetings. Nothing's really changed other than keeping that as an option for you for the November meeting.
Thank you. So it's my understanding that this means that we have the authority to move ahead with remote teleconference meetings. Is that correct, sir? Or do we need to do anything else other than approve this?
No, that would be, if you as a committee approve this, then you as the chair can elect to enact that come November for the November meeting. Correct.
Thank you. Comments from the committee members?
I make a motion, we approve the adoption of the resolution number 15.
I second. Pat seconds.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Well, that moves us forward. Just because we like to involve the public in this. Any comments from the public on this issue? Okay, I hear nothing from the public on this particular issue. We'd like to move on to the next item, which would be item 6B, I believe. Approval of authorization for the Director of Airports or designee to sign amendment number 1 to the agreement with Camarillo Sanitary District regarding out-of-agency service and annexation of certain property at the Camarillo Airport to extend the agreement by 5 years. Authorization for the Director of Airports to sign future amendments extending the agreement upon approval by County Council. Mr. Director.
And we have Aaron from our team. We'll give a little background on it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Chair Vandergraaf, Commission members. In 2017, the Board of Supervisors approved a 5-year agreement between the Department of Airports and the City of Camarillo Sanitary District to provide sewer services directly to the Northeast Hangar development and annex the property, which we can see on screen in dark orange or red. Each agency had responsibilities to work towards the annexation, and we all had 5 years to do that in. Due to several factors, including upgrades to sewer infrastructure, available or lack of available funding, and then some of the staffing shortages due to the pandemic, the agreement has come to expiration, and the sanitary district and the county are looking to extend the agreement by an additional 5 years to accomplish the work described. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
Questions from the commission? No questions? Okay, the recommendation here is the staff is requesting that the commission recommend the Board of Supervisors approve and authorize the Director of Airports or Director's designee to sign amendment number 1 affecting real property regarding out-of-agency service and annexation between Camarillo Sanitary District and the County of Ventura for provision of sewer services to the Camarillo Airport's Northeast Hangar development and the potential annexation to the district of all property containing the airport sewer system. And number 2 is authorize the Director of Airports to sign future amendments to extend the agreement upon approval by County Council. Any comments from the commission? Is there a motion to approve?
So moved, Bobby Williams.
Is there a second?
I'll second Maggie.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Let's move on to the next item, which is item C, receive and file a staff update regarding draft updated monthly noise report format and fly-friendly Ventura County program. Recommendation is to receive and file the staff update regarding draft updated monthly noise report format and fly-friendly VC program. Mr. Director, Mr. Assistant Director?
Yes, Dave from our team was gonna take that item.
Thank you.
Chair, members of the commission, thank you. Dave Nafee here. So just wanted to give you a quick update on an item that we brought you back in March. And so we're making progress. We're not final yet. We're gathering your comments and undoubtedly public comments tonight. But the overall question, just to narrow down what are we trying to do here, is what does your advisory board wish to have included in the monthly report? And so back then we thought, and we still do, that a subcommittee would be an appropriate method to get everybody's input. And so we've done that. Your board and the others, the other authority boards, chipped in members to sit on the subcommittee, and we met twice in June and July, and so we put a draft report, just template, into your board pack, and I'll put it up here on the screen in a minute. Just as a reminder, who was on the subcommittee that leaned in to help suggest new format for a noise report, and you see their names there. And then I also included an exhibit that included draft noise reports for Camarillo and Oxnard Airport, covering the data in July. So, and this was included in the board packet last month to kind of give you a flavor of what's in there. But I'll go over it real quick for us so that we can get a sense for what is in the report, and then I'll have a couple comments after that. So a little bit drilling in on the location where complaints are coming from, or the noise, when people call in, where are they when they do that, see any patterns that emerge. And we've provided the map that you see on the right side of the screen in the past in our noise reports, which gives a good indication about which communities are really giving us the most in terms of numbers of comments. And then we also have provided a second column beyond that to say, among those people who called, how many different households does that represent, to see if there is any patterns emerging in that realm. So you can see that if a lot of noise complaints came in, but fewer households, that may say a little bit about who's affected and how adversely affected those households are. We also have complaints by the type of operation, and by the type of aircraft, and by the time of day, and then a little bit about what we've been doing to respond, and we can get items in there to populate that. But those are the main things that the subcommittee desired at that point, and so a report that fits that bill is presented here for your consideration and for our feedback. Provided one also for Camarillo. Again, this is for July's data. We didn't attempt to bring current data into this report format. This is really just for discussion. So I have that to offer. Also wanted to just really quickly mention that we have been working with a vendor called Vector, and they are preparing a flight noise monitoring system for us called VNOMs. You may hear us refer to VNOMs in the future, and that's Vector Noise and Operations Monitoring System. So it's an acronym. We love acronyms in aviation. So what we have proposed is that we have the ability to report out by neighborhood and have that somewhat automated, so we don't have to go slogging through a number of flight tracks in sequential format. If we set up some rules and allow the system to show us where an overflight may have occurred, or an overflight below a certain altitude occurred, we believe we're going to have the ability to report at that granularity for the purpose. So so we have proposed neighborhood blocks for Oxnard and also for Camarillo. And so working with the vendor to get that brought into the system, we are getting a chance to play with the system in the background and get some training on that and make some refinements. So what we're doing on our side is to provide us the ability to really do some good investigating and good reporting without really adding a lot of staff effort to do so. So it's that's really a step forward for us and for our ability to manage and to report on flight activity around both airports. So wanted to just mention both of those things, and then accomplishments that we've had over the last period of time. We've hired a staff member who you just got a chance to meet, Jeanette Haragi, and she's going to be really leaning in and helping us communicate and engage neighborhoods and other organizations around the entire Ventura County area on airport matters. And so we're excited to have that. We did the flight guides, as you see. We're still gathering some comments on that, but we've had an addition that we were able to roll out, including at a fly-friendly forum, a tongue twister there, at Oxnard Airport that we held on September 13th. So we are seeing measurable results occur already, and some of our neighborhood neighbors are going to be indicating that there is some relief that's immediately coming. So those are things that are already in play. And then we also in the future are doing noise compatibility study projects at both airports, with the public process to be in the first quarter next year. And that FAA has approved a no lead aviation fuel. And so now the challenge there is in distribution. So get the product, get it to the airport, get it to a place where it could be put into an airplane. So supply chain kinds of things to overcome. I would mention that CAU in Bakersfield is a launch customer. If that's the correct way, Matt, you can change that terminology if you like. But I think what that gives us is the ability to be among the first airports to make that available for that. And you would presume that if the fuel is also available at other airports, then those planes that fly here are using unleaded aviation fuel as well. So we'll begin to see the phase out of leaded fuels over time. It doesn't happen right away, but the good news is to say that there's an alternative, and the alternative is coming, and everybody's leaning in hard to make that happen. And so that is the report, and I'm delighted to have your comments.
A question for you, Dave. Maybe I misunderstood. I thought perhaps that unleaded fuel was available at Oxnard, or is going to be available at Oxnard fairly soon.
Not available absolutely right now, but yes, we're pushing hard, and it's possible, Matt, you could give an outlook for what we might see at Oxnard?
Yeah, I'm happy to. So we're fortunate. California Aeronautical University, which I'm part of, is one of the early adopters or launch customer, as Dave said. And we're hoping to, we've had talks with Keith and the FBO at Oxnard to position some of that initial fuel at the Oxnard airport so that we can demonstrate it in our fleet and build, I guess, market confidence that, the fuel is, good. I think that's the challenge in the aviation community with anything new, selecting the fuel. And so there has to be confidence that people are going to want to put these fuels into their aircraft. And we're hoping that Oxnard is going to be able to participate in some of that demonstration with our fleet. So looking forward to it.
Wonderful, Matt. Can you give any kind of rough idea how that's going to compare in price? Because that's going to be one of the first questions asked.
Well, that's not the friendly part right now. I think that we're really early on in the phase. As Dave said, the FAA just approved it. So there's a lot of discussions that are taking place regarding the quantities that are going to be made, the distribution channels. So it's still very early on because pricing obviously revolves around the quantities that are able to be produced and where it's adopted. So there's still a lot of market confidences that have to occur, and these things are going to take time, but I think it's too early to kind of project what the pricing might be. Obviously, right out of the gate, it's going to be more expensive. So again, there's got to be motivations for aircraft owners to want to put this into their aircraft. So we're hoping to be able to demonstrate some of that and then improve the demand for the quantity, which should bring down cost.
Mr. Freitas, I think you might want to talk to the AOPA representative for Oxnard. He would be very knowledgeable in that area and might be willing to work on that.
I'm actually in talks with Mark Baker at AOPA directly, so they're aware of the of our interest to put the fuel at Oxnard as well.
Yeah, I mean, the reality is the transition is happening. It's going to happen, and it's just a matter of the time. So we're all working to make that happen as fast as we can.
Indeed.
Thank you, Matthew. Okay, let's go on to director's report.
All right, Madam Chair.
Point of order. Yeah, I think we need to receive and file that last.
Oh, we do. Yes.
My apologies, we did move that. So is there a motion to receive and file the staff update regarding the draft?
Public comment?
Chair, pardon us. We have a public part of this, and it's probably fair to put the message out there that says if you wish to be commenting on this item.
Do you want to go to that slide and I could read the written comments in the meantime?
Sure.
Okay, the first comment is from Susie Q. It reads, and these are, I should preface this by saying these are suggestions for the pilot guides. Number 1, change the green visual to red over residential sensitive zones. Red means stop, green means go. Number 2, if the courts interact to remove barking dog nuisance in neighborhoods, why can't the EPA act for, quote, noise pollution health, unquote? Dogs require responsible owners. Same for planes. A class action nuisance lawsuit against flight schools for not exercising the given flight options can expose their blatant lack of respect with repeated disruptive patterns that impinge on our daily lives. Extreme noise circling our roofs is the equivalent to extreme dog barking. We as residents have the right to peaceful working, schooling, and leisure time in the homes we pay for. End of comment from Susie Q. The next comment is from Eleanor Crilly. It reads, to whom it may concern, my name is Eleanor Crilly. I live in the community of Westport at Mandalay. I'm writing to express my frustration with the number of small planes flying over my home. The noise is incredibly loud and the pollution is concerning. Not to mention, there have been 2 plane crashes across the street from my home. The fact the people from other areas are using Oxnard Airport free is beyond insulting to the residents of Oxnard. The flights need to be limited and the planes need to circle over the fields instead of homes. Thank you. End of comment from Eleanor Crilly. And the last comment, written public comment, is from Randy Scuria. It reads, "Good evening, all. My neighbors and I in Oxnard Shores would like to thank all those involved with the daunting task of getting this noise abatement issue put out there for all pilots. We hope every pilot can recognize the noise issue and have some compassion and respect for those of us on the ground that have to listen to the daily takeoff noise. Your abatement proposal needs to get to all flight schools within a few hundred miles so they can realize that there is a noise issue. Thank you." End of comment from Randy Scuria. And I will take this moment to announce to the public online. If you'd like to be added to the public comment queue, please be connected via Zoom. If not already connected and wish to make a public comment, you can find the Zoom link on the last page of the meeting agenda. If you wish to make a public comment on agenda item number 6C, please press the raise hand button now, or if you are calling in today, press star then 9 to be added to the speaker queue. Thank you.
And Chair Joni Conterno has joined the panelists to provide a comment.
Hi. First of all, I wanted to thank the team at Oxnard Airport for taking our suggestions on the map. And you did change the misleading green noise sensitive area to the hashtag red. So we appreciate that. Our second comment was done, but I do have a question of why words were added. We had asked that the text box that said avoid overflight of noise sensitive areas would be put back onto the map so that it's very clear now that you can tell the crosshatch areas to avoid flying over them. So that was put back, but put back with a stipulation. It now says avoid overflight of noise sensitive areas at high powered settings. You're kind of opening the door. You can fly over them with low power settings. It just seems like it was a non-compliance. But we do appreciate the back and forth, and that's my comment. I wish that door wouldn't be left open, that it's okay to overfly the areas at one setting and not another. So let's continue working together. I appreciate the back and forth, and we seem to be making steps forward.
Thanks, Joni.
Thanks very much.
Are there further comments?
Chair, I don't see anybody else looking to comment on this item.
Okay,
And it's a receive and file.
and that is receive and file. Thank you. Can we move on to item 7, Director's Report?
I believe so.
Okay. Madam Chair and commission members, just have 3 items. I wanted to update you on the new private hangar ground lease agreement that was approved in May by the Board of Supervisors. We are kicking that process off with the first. We've got 7 members, mostly of the Cahota leadership, that have offered up their hangars as the first test inspections. We're doing a hangar inspection and then all the following documentation that will follow starting this Wednesday in 2 days. So we're starting that off. We have a sampling at Oxnard Airport and Camarillo Airport of the total 7. We also update on the security cameras at both airports. Convergent is still working on a timeline of having the installation by the 4th quarter of this year, so the end of this year, installed and up and running. And then the last item I just have was just a FYI. They have finally found Serco, our contract tower facility at Oxnard Airport, has found a new tower manager, and the first name is Joshua. Expected to start in the middle of this month, so in a couple weeks.
Great.
All I have. Looks like Dave has one other thing wanted to talk about and touch on was just some of the social media, some of the great stuff that Jeanette is doing for us. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, our actual website, all being upgraded and moving forward to get information out to our community, to our pilots, to our businesses. Just kind of a small sampling on the screen of the great work that Jeanette's doing for us already. And that was it. That's all I have.
Thank you very much. Any comments from the commission on reports? Comments from the public? Verbal or written? Okay, let's move on to correspondence. This is information only, no action. Anything on the articles, any comments from the commission on articles? Any comments from the public?
No public comments.
Okay, and number 10, commission comments. Are there any comments from commission members on matters deemed appropriate?
I have a comment, Madam Chair. It's Bobby.
Thank you, Bobby.
Your echo came back as soon as we went live, as I suspected. So we need to debug that, Dave, somehow, because it seems to have something to do with, there was absolutely no feedback before we went live, and then it feeds back. So there's something going on with the way Adriana connects, or how you're handling her connection. I don't know.
Yeah, Bobby, it came on. It came on when we went to YouTube.
YouTube. Okay.
Well, then maybe it's something on that net. Did it make any changes now?
No, it's still echoing. So just a debug comment, not all related to the meeting, but.
Well, thank you, Bobby, but that's most useful. Any other comments from the commission? Okay, is there a motion for adjournment?
So moved, Bobby Williams.
Second?
Second, Matt.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.
Everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.